is to take two of your high key portrait images and overlap them so you get a similar effect to this Mac Miller Circles album cover. Now, part of what makes this really cool is that you have one image that's stronger and the other image that's a little bit ghost-like. So you want to keep that in mind when you're doing your layer blend. The other thing is that the portraits that are here, there's one where he's got his hand on his face and his eyes closed. There's another where he's got his fist up and he's looking directly at the camera. So in this picture, you have two very different styles of images combined. If I look at my little test samples, and this may happen for you too, when we go to my collection of just the selfies I did when I was testing the lights, I have almost the exact same pose every time. So if that is your case, you can do something in Lightroom to fix that. So let's say I'm going to use this image where my head's kind of angled to the side a little bit, which means that, come on, let's get it to the right dimensions here. Sorry guys, this is just a little slow here. I'm on fill. There we go, that's better. So I have a lot of negative space over here and I have negative space here. So I'm gonna go to a different picture and wow, this is like this weird mode where everything's too big. There we go. So here's a slightly different picture. I have a slightly different expression, but it's not all that different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some things with cropping and also with flipping the image. We've never flipped an image, so let's take a look at that real quick. So first off, if I go up here to the top and I go photo, underneath, once we get underneath like where we go to edit stuff in Lightroom and you go down, it says rotate left, rotate right, flip horizontal, flip vertical. So I could make myself upside down if I wanted. That's something I could try. I've never tried that for this edit, but I'm gonna do flip horizontal. And I'm going to flip myself back so I'm right side up. So now, I have one image that's going to go this way and another image that's going to go this way so I can move myself over. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a 1:1 crop. And I'm going to just pull this corner down so that my head's in a slightly different place than where it is here. 1:1 crop and pull it like that. So in this image, I'm a little bit larger. The image is, I'm a little bit bigger in the picture and I'm pushed them more to the left. In this one, I'm a little smaller and I'm down and to the right. So those two will overlap well. So if your pictures are not that different, try this tool. Photo, flip horizontal, and then use crop to move yourself around. Okay, so we're going to go Command click on both images so they have a white highlight, photo, edit in, and we're going to go all the way down to open as layers in Photoshop. You did this before with your negative edit. And I do not need this tool, so we'll go away. So you can see that I have 1, 2. These eyeballs just turn things on and off. Now this part's super easy. Just like we did for negative edit, we're going to play with blend modes and we're going to play with opacity. This time, do opacity first. Just slide it down a little bit. And the opacity is kind of cool. That's going to do most of the work for us. Nice and easy. Now I'm going to go to my blend modes and see what happens. And every single one of them does a different effect, and it's going to be about you choosing where do I see the best results. This one is creating this funny little checkerboard sort of situation. What I want to do is be able to read the expressions. So sometimes when I look at something for a second, I go, oh, that's cool. Now I only have one eye. But as I look at those shapes for a while, it doesn't really make sense to me why my face is cut in half. So I'm going to keep exploring. That looks like I've got a goatee or the beginning of a Chewbacca-esque mask on my face. So none of the lightning ones are working really well on this. I feel like it's more up here in the darkening values. probably right. I'm liking my eyes is what I'm liking. What's down here? Difference. That's kind of cool too. It's like this positive negative version of myself. I'm not sure about those rectangles that are happening, but I'm liking subtract. You're going to like whatever it is you like. Now we're back to the weird goatee situation. That's not really working. Let's go up here. I think I like multiply. And I'm going to go back again to where I was with opacity. And how does that work? Now, I don't like the way my hair is overlapping directly off my chin. It looks too much like a weird like goatee or waterfall of hair coming out of my nose, which doesn't look very good. So over on this side at the very top, there's a tool that looks like a plus sign, and that's just a move tool. And it allows me to move myself around. So I'm going to move myself around until I feel like I have a better version. Where the shapes don't overlap in a way that distracts, where the shapes overlap in a way that makes me think or makes me curious. I kind of like that. There's one more tool you can try that's new to us. Let's say this top version, I want to make it either smaller or bigger, so I need to stretch it or shrink it. You're going to go here, File, Transform. And transform allows me to do a lot of things. Just hit free transform. You want to make sure that you click and drag just on the diagonal. If I click and drag from here, I will squish myself. So you want to click and drag from the diagonal. So maybe I can make myself slightly different sizes. The other thing I can do is this. That's better. Because I'm on free transform, if I take my arrow outside, I can also rotate myself a little bit and see what happens if I rotate. Go like that. I lose this eye, so I don't really like that, but there you go. And then when you're done with it and you like it, hit return. I can also go down to this level right here and play with its opacity. So it gets a little lighter too. Or I can flip this one up to the top and I can play with its opacity. And see what it does. Like that. Okay. But in general, I think this one looks better on the bottom. This one looks better on the top, like that. And now I have two different versions of myself overlapping, and there you go. Okay. I'm hoping that you will actually have poses that are dramatically different and that that's what you can combine. When you're done, same process as the duotone. File. We're going to go close, save, and you'll see it'll be saved right here in Photoshop. Also, for DVC, DVC needs to see that you have 2 layers, multiplied, and opacity. So I'm going to Command-Shift-4, screenshot that. I'm also going to screenshot my artwork right here, because that, as all things do, goes on a slide. All right, and then you're done. Good job. Close it. And I can close this one. And you'll see that back here in Lightroom, I now have everything I did. There's my duotone, here's my Mac Miller, here's my hand colored, and here's the remainder of my original edits. All right, there you go.